Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gloves Off with David Singer. And actually, today it's with Tim Meerbott, the mayor of the town of Cutler Bay. It's a mouthful anyway. Let's read the disclaimer, please. Please. Okay, the opinion of the host, guests, and any callers and anyone who comments are not representative of the opinion of Mr. Singer's employer or anyone associated with Gloves Off. As you guys can see, we're still in the dungeon because of threats by our councilman, Steve Cody, to sue my employer. So we're still doing our videotaping from the dungeon. Thanks. Thank you for coming by. Wait, first we got to click it because I got to do who's sponsoring the program today. And by the way, we got Sadim back.
Yeah.
Just for today.
Right.
Just for today. Then
Just
he goes
for
back
today,
to.
But I'm glad to be back.
I'm glad you're back. So our sponsor today is
Gloves Off.
Karen Cunningham. Karen
Oh,
Cunningham, the mayor of Palmetto Bay, has decided to sponsor our show until the elections, and we appreciate that. Thank you very much, Mayor Karen Cunningham. We'll be doing a whole show on Mayor Karen Cunningham and Steve Cody and Patrick Fiore next week. So make sure you tune in to our show next week to watch. It's going to be all things Palmetto Bay. But today, we are going to speak to Mayor Tim. I like that, Mayor Tim. That sounds like very relaxed. You're a very relaxed guy.
Very warm.
Right? And very warm and
very reflective of who I am.
And very happy. I can't see calling Joe Cordino Mayor Joe. He's a little too stoic to get Mayor Joe, right?
Well,
but it's different. I mean, he's a great guy.
Sounded like a compliment a minute ago. Now, not so much. So.
No, Joe's a little. Listen, I'd love to get you and Joe across from each other, and just for me to just listen to you guys talk about your individual cities or towns or whatever they call
Joe's
them.
Joe's a
great guy.
He's doing a great job with Pinecrest as well. They've got some challenges there that hopefully he'll educate everybody, and so they go in making decisions fully informed. But he knows what he's doing.
No, Joe's going to come back on the show in about a month, and we're going to talk about what else is going on. We had a whole hour conversation. Was it last week or the week before? I guess it was the week before about what some of the residents wanted to pass and the problems with it and everything. And we're going to, now that they got the signatures, we're going to revisit that subject again. Because I think it slows down. I hate to say progress because progress, everybody takes that as a negative connotation.
Right.
But it slows down, I guess, what they've been, voted on and appointed to do.
Well, like I say, change always comes, whether you have a hand in it or not, is the important part. So.
Exactly. Change is inevitable.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a Buddhist, you know that. I mean,
not a Buddhist, but I know change is inevitable.
If you're a Buddhist, you know that. So the first thing we want to talk about is your impending marriage. Okay, because I told you that's the first thing I'm hitting you on.
There you go. And I do appreciate that because that is probably the most important thing in my life that's going on right now. It's I don't mention it enough. My fiance Natalie Neff,
who's a Palmetto Bay.
She's a Palmetto Bay resident.
That's right.
And she, she's always been my biggest supporter. She's worked hard with me all along for the last 4 years during this mayor gig. So she's keeps me solid, keeps me fed, and keeps me happy. So
I'm a fan of hers, by the way. I've met her numerous times. Yeah, she's very nice, very sweet.
She's very, very.
I don't know what
sweet.
She's like behind closed doors, but she's very nice and very sweet to me.
She's very real.
Yeah.
So what you see out and about is what you get anywhere else. So she's very real, and so we're getting married next year, October.
So you got a year.
Yeah. I mean, that's the plan right now, unless I mess it up, as they say. But no.
Yeah, well, so guys have a way of doing things like that.
So my son's getting married this October. So we figured we'd do next October.
Why don't you guys have a double marriage?
So my son's don't want to steal his thunder. I'd like him to be my friendly son for a long time. Yeah. So it's going to be great.
How old's your son?
He is 29.
Oh, interesting. I got married when I was 29.
Yeah.
And divorced when I was 39.
Hopefully he'll have better luck. So,
probably. Yeah. You can imagine I'm a little difficult to live with.
Can't imagine.
I'm just a little
imagine.
Funny, but a little difficult.
So, but Natalie, again, not gonna ever make that mistake. I did some campaign cards that kind of used my old bio. Didn't update it, and I neglected to mention her, or I neglected to proofread to make sure that something going out was involving her because she's been so important. So, I'm not going to make.
So
that
this
mistake
is your
again.
Public apology, right?
This is my public apology. It's like, Natalie Neff, you're the best.
Yeah. So please forgive him.
Yes, please.
For me, I really appreciate it.
Thanks. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Anybody have a tissue? And then, okay, the other big news is you're running.
Mm-hmm.
And so this will be your second term as mayor.
Yes.
And you were on the council before that.
Yeah, I was on the original council.
So you're a glutton for punishment, man.
I did take some time off.
Yeah.
You know, I did run for mayor many years ago, and I lost. And again, that was a blessing in disguise because through that period, my wife had cancer and ended up passing away. So I was able to devote my time to her. So God put you in the right place at the right time. Mm-hmm. So apparently I was, and I think I'm in the right place right now. We're doing some really great things in our city, and I hopefully will get reelected so we can continue to do great things.
I have no doubt you're going to be reelected. You have a very good reputation.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Very good reputation in South Florida. You and Joe definitely are, I think, probably outstanding.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mayoral individuals.
I'm definitely in good company with Joe. That's for sure. And, Cutler Bay's got a lot of exciting things. We're talking about change is inevitable. So change is coming to Cutler Bay. Mm-hmm. And it's important that the changes are in alignment with our vision, which was created with Charrette's over 15 years ago. So I'm going to make sure that happens.
Okay, so let's talk about one of the biggest issues facing, I guess, all of the South Florida areas, the RTC.
Mm-hmm. The RTC.
Yeah.
The RTC, which again, we used to be talking on the BRT because there's only a bus rapid transit way.
Yeah. By the way, I got corrected on that. I heard that the BRT is still the BRT and the RTZ is the area around. Correct. Joe actually, thank you, Joe, if you're watching.
Right.
Actually corrected me on it. He said the RTC isn't necessarily the roadway. That's still the BRT, right? And everything around it, where all the development's supposed to be, is the RTC.
Right. And that's where the big change. Yeah. So now the conversation changed from BRT to RTZ. And, for Cutler Bay, it wasn't as impactful. And that's because Cutler Bay had Charrette's over 15 years ago. And the vision that the residents created back then is like they wanted to keep the, I'll call it the core of the residential part of the town, residential, family-oriented, a lot quieter. But the area that was right on US 1, the Southland Mall area, those type of areas, were designated to be higher density than the single-dwelling homes. So we already had our density in place. So when the RTZ is saying, hey, we want to take control because you guys are not dense enough, our density is already what they wanted. So just as like you don't.
So what is that like? With Southland Mall, what can you build there? How many per acre and how high?
Well, you can go up to 15 stories there, mm-hmm. But that's not what's going to happen. Some exciting news is there was a developer that recently came in and bought all of Southland Mall, paid over $105 million for
but
that.
Not all of Southland Mall, because you have. It's 3 different parcels. Sears has his own parcel, right?
Mm-hmm, right.
Sears owns his whole parcel. And then there's
Macy's.
Macy's has his own parcel, and then the rest is the rest, right?
That's correct. Okay. Now they all are under one ownership.
Oh, really?
They were. I don't know if they've closed the Sears deal, but I know they had an agreement on it. So there's going to be one owner.
Okay.
For all of that area. And we've had some preliminary discussions with them, like what they envision. And, they've built great mixed-use developments all over the world in Orlando and in Atlanta.
Are you able to disclose who it is?
I could if I could remember the name of the corporation real quick.
That's okay.
So it's not like it's a secret.
Oh, a secret.
Or not.
Okay, I'm sure if I went to Miami-Dade County,
it's not a secret. But, they've done some really nice projects. And, a lot of people were fearful of like overdevelopment, but they've kind of just given us, all right, here's what their general concept is. Mm-hmm. And it's nothing too obtrusive. Right now it looks like 6-story buildings, not the, 15, 18 stories that you wanted. Yeah. It's open areas, water features, restaurants, all kinds of things like that. So I think it's, it's exactly what South Florida needs.
Does it still have, we'll still have retail. I mean,
yes.
With the retail component, right?
Yes, Macy's is still going to be there. Okay. That Macy's has always been making money, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, they were making money.
When I was a kid, it was called Cutler. Well, you grew up there too, so it was Cutler Ridge Mall, and then it was Southland Mall.
Right, back when Whistler's was there. Before that was
Whistlers.
Yeah, so back when I was back there.
I have some great stories about Whistlers.
I was back. I lived here back when there was a bowling alley there, a movie theater, and a pony ride. So that was way
I'm trying to
back.
think of the bowling alley. I don't remember the bowling alley. There's still a movie theater there, but it's not the same one.
Yeah.
I don't remember the bowling alley.
There was a bowling alley there as well. So, and a
Wow.
pony ride feature and
Yeah.
Kresge's.
I remember the Kresge's.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's going back to the '60s though.
Yeah.
So again, change has come
Yeah.
a couple times there. So this is going to be the new and I'm going to call it the greatest facelift because it's not only going to it provides a couple of things. Everybody knows that there's a little bit of a housing shortage. So you see building going up all over. The county is approving a lot of building along US 1. This building is going to be, it's not going to be high end, but it's going to be very, very quality housing.
For workforce housing?
Well,
I mean, it should be. I mean, there should be something.
There's going to be a mix there.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it.
You
You got US 1. I mean, it's really it's off the turnpike, right?
Right.
So you get to the turnpike, it's off US 1, and you got the busway.
Right. It's a perfect location for transit to go anywhere else. But what I've been touting for years and years, we've always been talking about just moving people north to go to work. I've been talking about moving jobs south, so the work will be here. This will help expand that a little bit. First of all, the construction. They're going to put over $1 billion. That's with a B. $1 billion into this project over the next 7 to 10 years. So it's going to be nice. So it brings us the additional entertainment restaurants that we've wanted. Right now, if you live in Cutler Bay and you want to go have a nice meal, your options are very limited. So most of the times you have to end up in Coral Gables or Kendall.
Correct.
This will give us the opportunity to develop some entertainment on our own. The town manager and I have been actively recruiting, working, trying to find ways that we can get additional restaurants to come down here. So it's going to be a lot easier when they have a space like this to move into, which is going to be, again, if you envision downtown Doral or, downtown Dadeland, those kind of things, it's kind of something that you're going to see, but it's going to be in the south, walkable, livable, a gathering place. I don't know how many office buildings. I know there's going to be some office space there, including there could even be some medical buildings or hospital type of buildings that's there as well. So it's up to the owners, obviously, who they can sign and lease. But they've got a great reputation for what they've built so far.
And where are they out of?
They are out of part of it is out of here, part of it is out of Israel.
Okay.
But they're well funded, so they're not contingent on having for the interest rates to be right for them to start building. They have a great vision. They know what they want to do. They have the resources to do it. So I'm confident they're going to go forward. And the best part is they've reached out to us, the town, to make sure that what they're going to be building is in alignment with what our vision is as well. So
any problems with any other council members as far as what they want and what?
There's been nothing presented to them yet. Yeah. Again, this is in the preliminary stages. Yeah. I don't know if the rest of the council has actually met with them yet. Okay. I wanted to right off the bat. Yeah. So so they did. But I can't imagine. It's not varying from what the charrette, which was created by our citizens, wanted 15 years ago. So it's right in line with that. Somebody had a lot of good vision back then. It's like had to see what was coming down the pipe.
At one point, because I was part of this. I don't know when I was part of it. The BRT was supposed to actually go over US 1 into the shopping center because they knew that there was eventually going to be apartments and stuff and go back over to the west side.
Yeah. That part is evident, but we are talking with the county because we would love a pedestrian bridge to go over there.
I think that's a must.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get them to go along with us and help that out because it's the perfect opportunity. Again, you have the large portion of Dade County's population now lives in the south, but there's no real hub of work in the south end. The closest thing you have is sort of Dadeland, and that's it.
And then maybe South Miami,
and to a smaller degree, South Miami, right? So, to the area to the south of us, Homestead and Florida City and Goulds, all that area, Redlands is all growing so much. We need to have a different place for a new hub. And I'll call it the geographic heart of the South, where you're going to have these restaurants and office buildings and medical buildings and everything all the things that our citizens need will not be a 45-minute drive away anymore. It will be a 5-minute drive.
It's that's what we were. Ed Silva was trying to do that in our downtown area, which seems to, or Palmetto Bay, if nobody knows where I'm from, Palmetto Bay's downtown area, that really got not a lot of traction with some of the other council members.
Yeah.
Besides me and maybe Gene Flynn.
It's a difficult sell to, if you're, and again, it's really a very political thing. Nobody wants any additional growth in their area. Yeah. And, unfortunately we can't stop it. So if you can't stop it, you have to just make sure it's the right growth in the right way. So I think that's what we're doing.
Yeah, the problem is I would much rather have entertainment than a bunch of apartment buildings. And that's the real issue with Palmetto Bay is when I was on the board and I voted against the zoning. You probably heard the story 1,000 times, but I'll tell everybody else. When I voted against the zoning, it was because all they literally focused on was apartments, instead of something to actually do down there, right? Or some sort of office building, or so people didn't have to drive to South Miami or Danland or Coconut Grove or downtown Miami. I mean, people really don't want to drive it over an hour to go to work anymore.
I've been actually, reaching out to hospitals. Baptist met with their management staff and some other of the hospitals and trying to recruit them to come down into our area. You got the hospital in Kendall, and then you have the one in Homestead. And between that, it's kind of, you have Jackson South, which is not too terribly far away, but really all the medical arts buildings that would go along with that. We have a lot of doctors and nurses and technicians that live in Cutler Bay. And with a lot of our citizens have to, go to Kendall. Every time you go to Kendall, it's hard to get parking. It's hard to drive there. It's a perfect place for them to start building some medical arts buildings and this kind of thing. So we've been talking to them. There's interest. There's a staged process that they do to get where they want to be. But we're starting down that road and having some conversations with them.
You can talk to my friend Kathy Mormon.
Kathy? Oh, yes.
You know Kathy?
Yes.
Yeah, I know Kathy for years anyway. She works for Baptist.
We did talk to Kathy.
Did you? There you go. Oh, boy. The more people you know, the better. Anyway, so if anybody wants to write any emails or any questions or anything else for Tim, you're more than welcome to do it. And I will actually read them off. And I'm going to read a couple right now. Kevin, we are getting a Lowe's.
We're getting a Lowe's.
Are you? You know anything about that?
Are we getting a Lowe's? What'd you say?
It says, we are getting a Lowe's.
Are we getting a Lowe's? Is that the question?
No, it says we're getting a Lowe's, which I would assume is a backhanded question, right?
Okay. I don't know the exact. I know that there's been conversations with Lowe's, whether it's been finalized or not to move in. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, so there's your answer, Kevin. Coming to you from San Juan, Puerto Rico, Renee. Okay, I'm on vacation. Still don't miss your show. Thanks, Renee. I appreciate it. Maybe you can come on the show with me. Looking forward to Southland Mall project. Cutler Bay is the best town in South Dade. Period.
I'm going to have to agree with them on that one.
No, I mean, I'm not gonna pick and choose, but I would say it's one of maybe two.
All right. Okay. We got a lot of great citizen involvement in Cutler Bay, and it's positive. That's kind of unusual for Cutler Bay. A lot of these cities, you see nothing but the negative, Nancy's negative comments all the time. In Cutler Bay, you see both, and I appreciate that. I appreciate when citizens will stand up and say positive things about the town rather than just complaining about it, because you'll have your 9 or 10.
You've been to a Palmetto Bay Council meeting.
I've been to one.
That was enough.
As a guest, but so there's and again we.
Listen, you guys are just different.
Yeah.
Let's just say Palmetto Bay, Cutler Bay, and Pinecrest and South Miami is just different. I mean, South Miami for years had a really bad reputation.
Okay.
I don't know if they still have that reputation anymore, because Mike Miller used to tell me all about all the shit that happened. And I can actually say that because my own show, all the stuff in South Miami. And it's kind of like, it hasn't really hit Pinecrest or Cutler Bay as much as it has Palmetto Bay.
It has not. And, we're real committed to transparency, number one. And we're also real committed to communication, because if you don't get the truth, anybody can spin anything any way they want. So if you want to complain about something, all of a sudden you can spin it so it sounds a lot worse than it was, So what we try to do is get the communication out there as soon as possible from the source. If you have any questions, you can call us.
It answers. I mean, listen, if you're not giving out the truthful, correct information, good or bad, okay,
right?
Somebody, a friend of mine, used to always tell me, I don't care what you tell me, as long as you tell me, I can deal with it, whether good or bad. I just don't like surprises, right? So if you're not putting the information out in a truthful way, people tend to go to the worst place, right, in their brain. Oh my God, this is happening, that's happening, whatever, blah 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 blah. And so you got to put out as much information as humanly possible without sugarcoating it, and without selfies.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
Sorry.
yeah.
I mean, I just don't believe in selfies, and we'll get into that next week. Okay. So Gene Flynn goes. I'd like to hear more about the town municipal center, including the community center.
Okay. So for just to bring everybody else to speed, we did ask the community to approve a general obligation bond for up to $37 million, which they did. Cutler Bay has acquired 16 acres in the heart of the town. We're right there on Old Cutler and about 97th Avenue. And we're going to build a municipal complex there.
97th Avenue and what street?
It's just south of the
186 or something?
Oh, no, it's further south than that.
Okay.
It's just south of Rod Bender's.
Okay.
The Burger King, Ace Hardware, right there. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Just south of there.
I heard Rod Bender's. Sorry to interrupt. I heard Rod Bender's may be closing.
It is for sale. It is for sale.
Okay,
but we digress.
It would be disheartening for me because I like Rod Bender. Sorry,
I heard it was for sale as well. So.
Okay, cool. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah. Okay. So back to the GO bond. So, so at this point, it's been passed, and it passed by a great majority too, close to 68%, I think. And so now we are requesting a qualification for bids. So we're looking for we're doing a nationwide search for a corporation that can come in and build what we envisioned. So we had 9 public meetings, online input as well. We worked with the University of Miami School of Architecture for concepts with their students. Mm-hmm. So we got 9 different concepts of what could be built there, some amazing things, most of them very, very environmentally friendly. But it's going to have a police department there, our town hall.
Well, you're getting your own police department? Or
Well, no, we're just going to house them there. Obviously, we have to have a place for them. Right now, they're like in an office building. So, they're on the second floor. So if you're getting a permit, you might see the police bringing somebody by wearing their bracelets to go upstairs. It's just not very conducive for the type of.
Got it.
So we'll have a police department there for them. And as well, we're looking to build a municipal complex community center. Something like you'd see like maybe in Key Biscayne and their area there. A lot of open green space. The concepts including maybe an amphitheater. Splash pads, all the things that you would want as a gathering place for a community, not just a place where you go to do town business. It's going to be the heart and soul gathering place, golf cart friendly. Publix is just being completed right across the street from it, so their out parcels are ready for restaurants to move in. It'd be nice to have some sidewalk cafes, those kind of things.
See, everything that a town or a village or that needs, right? Mm-hmm. Some place where you can get on your bicycle because you don't want to drive, with your family because you really don't want to sit there and ride your bike to South Miami or David, right? So the closer the better. You have restaurants, you have green space, you have splash pads. I mean, it's another, and I said last week, I said, all a community center is a vertical park,
right?
And you have something to do for the elderly, you have something to do for the kids.
Right.
It just gives you a lot of room to do just certain things. You can have camps there and stuff like that. So it sounds like you guys are moving towards a track that, is a very well-rounded community.
And that's what the idea was. Again, I've lived in Cutler Bay my entire life, and I want to make sure that we preserve the community feel. And the only way that you can preserve community feel is to have people engage with each other, talk to each other, and care about each other. This gives us a great place to help make that happen. And the best part about this is we forget that if we didn't do this, then there'd be another 454 units built on that land instead. So you either have 450 unit housing units built, or
listen. I was the one that brought up the school site in downtown Palmetto Bay, and got it passed where we'd buy the site instead of having another school in Palmetto Bay. Nobody really needs another damn school in Palmetto Bay, especially a private school. So it was supposed to be the way it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a community center, because it's right across the street from our other park.
Right.
So it's great because that's where people gather. That's where people enjoy themselves. And people don't have to leave their community to, cross on your bike to cross. And this is nothing against the gym that's by the falls. I can't remember the name.
LA Fitness?
No. It's the whatever. Anyway.
YMCA.
Yeah, YMCA. Yeah. Nothing against that because my son played basketball there. But I mean, if you have something like that in your community, the parents just 2 minutes away, you drop the kids off, you can feel safe about it. They're not going to have to ride their bike across US 1 or anything
Right.
else. And it's right there. It's a beautiful thing.
It'd be nice if we can get people on bikes again. Cutler Bay has become, one of the bigger golf cart communities in the South. And, we started that back when I was a councilman. I made that first proposal to pass golf courses be illegal. And now they're everywhere. But, creating a greener world means less cars, less driving. Bicycles and golf carts are a greater way to do that. So, and again, it's just, it's not that, it's going to be Norman Rockwell typish, but it is a small town feel still. We're over 50,000 people now, but there's still
How many homes.
I think 15,000 total.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have a
tell me there's gonna be like all these trick questions here.
No, and your base is pretty good too. I mean, your tax base is probably higher than commercial is probably higher than most of the other municipalities.
Nothing like Doral or Coral Gables, of course.
I got it. But I mean, in a general area.
It's not actually our commercial base is not that big yet. Southland Mall is one of the biggest areas over there, and when that expands, that's going to help out, obviously. Mm-hmm. But it's not as big as you think it would be. Or the mix.
Well, you have a lot of retail off Old Cutler Road, mm-hmm. right? Because you do,
right?
And then you got a lot of retail off US 1, and the residents are basically
right
or commercial. I shouldn't just say retail, but it's commercial too,
right?
So you got a lot more than I think Pinecrest does. Definitely more than Palmetto Bay.
Yeah, definitely more than Palmetto Bay. Well, again, we have the advantage. We have both sides of US 1. Palmetto Bay doesn't. Yeah. So I couldn't tell you what kind, how we compare to Pinecrest. So, but it's as far as towns go, it's you don't want too much industrial mix there. You don't want too much warehouse, and we're never going to have that. I think we have a great mix, and if we do have additional businesses coming in, they're going to be where they're supposed to be. Which is primarily along the US 1 Southland Mall area.
I think Homestead is grabbing all the industrial. There's so much. I mean, it's actually.
I don't know
great.
if they're grabbing it or it's happening there.
It's
happening there.
It's fluctuating. I mean, but it's amazing all the development that's there. That it's basically the only place that there's land left.
Yeah.
And I mean, unless you want to rip a building down. Okay, so let's see what else. Kelly, this is what we wanted for Palmetto Bay residents. I agree 100%. Okay, Gene must have nothing better to do than write questions. So Gene, get to work. Hi, David. Alex and I ride bicycles to South Miami or Dayland for restaurants. We also loop south through the. Can you read that, by the way?
Yeah, I can.
That's pretty good. Okay, I just was wondering. Okay. We also loop south through Black Point and dine at the marina.
Or Patty Cake Bakery.
I've never heard of Patty Cake Bakery.
Party Cake. Yeah.
Oh, party. Yeah. Okay. May this Cutler Bay project raise standards for bicycle friendly.
Yeah, we're very bicycle friendly, and this project and the concepts are all the internal roads around it are going to be both bicycle and golf cart friendly. We have Caribbean Boulevard, which we've redone, which is bicycle lanes. We're actually just got a project where you should be breaking ground, hopefully by the end of the year, on Franjo Road, which is going to do something very similar. One thing that Cutler Bay is great at, we talk about, the tax base as far as coming from businesses, but what Cutler Bay has been really good at is getting money from the federal government and the state government and grants. We got $8 million from the county to redo Franjo Road. We're right now getting approval from the federal government for $4 million for Marlin Road. We've got another additional money from the state for improvement in roads, another $1.2 million there. So,
plus you got 11. You said you got $11 million.
$11 million of ARPA money.
ARPA money,
right? Well.
Is that going to help you at all with your new? Can that help you at all with your new village hall?
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
It really depends. There's so many different rules and regulations. They give you here's the money and here's the book that you need to qualify. Yeah. But we got a great staff to go through that. So, I mean, compared to the other municipalities in Dade County, we've been hitting home runs left and right as far as getting state money and federal money and county money to help us out. We have, and the reason why is because we don't just ask for something. We ask something and we hand them a book with a plan of how we want to get it done, and they just love, especially at the state level. You walk in with a binder. I'm like, here's what we want to do. They're like, oh, okay. Well, you get 20 points just for letting know exactly what's going to happen. It's not a concept; it's a plan. And so we always have a plan. So when you have a plan, the other government entities don't feel like they're taking a risk by helping you out with financial assistance.
So, are you going to get I'm just curious. Are you going to get an auditing firm to make sure the money that you spend through ARPA is spent correctly?
We are just like everybody else's books. Our books are audited every
Yeah.
year, and we've won awards every year. This year again, we won another award. Robert Daddario is our does all of our financing for us, and he's super sharp. Has been with the town since the beginning. Knows what he's done. Knows what he's doing, and we're doing a great job as far as a town. A great staff, town manager, finance director, everything across the board is moving in the right direction to improve the town and trying to find as many financial resources other than our own town to help out with these things.
You don't want to stick your hand in a lot of residents' pockets.
There's millions of dollars that we've gotten each and every year since I've been in office, which just people don't realize these are things that if you don't know how to apply for it, if you don't have the proper credentials, don't have the proper plan, you're not going to get done. We seemed like we've always done that, and we're just hitting home runs left and right.
That's good. That's good. So let me. Gene mentioned Black Point, so I got to ask you a question. When's Black Point going to bring back bands?
They're not, from what I understand.
You got to talk to them because your favorite band,
Cutler Stew,
your favorite band needs to be there, and I think they're down in the Keys this weekend actually, playing. I know all the guys. You every once in a while get up and sing with them.
Yeah. Apparently the Black Point makes more money turning over tables than people sitting at tables with drinks and dancing. So I don't think they plan on bringing anything back.
We got to talk to them because I have a band that's going to start playing in October, and I need some place to play.
There you go. Well, we'll push. We'll both guess.
We'll both give them a hard time.
Listen, that's where I met my fiance at Black Point.
Oh, really?
So it's a special place in my heart there for me. It's like magic happens there. So
I have a very old friend that actually sits at the bar at Black Point like every single day. Every time I walk in there, I see him. His guy's name is James Melvin.
Shorty.
Yeah, Shorty. Right? He's always there.
Yeah.
I've known him since I've been 14 and he was like 12. Anyway, so let's talk about look at this. Mm-hmm. Can you see this? This is Miami Today, 40th year, and their village manager actually made the paper.
Yeah, Ralph Casals.
Ralph, good guy, great guy. If you have this, read the article about him.
Yeah, and that's one of the advantages of Cutler Bay. I love working with my council because we all seem to be rowing in the same direction. We both care about the town more than we care about our own selves, which is really important and helpful. But also we have an experienced town manager. Ralph has been with the town for 16 years. He's been with our town manager for, I think, over 10. And he just knows the ins and outs of what to do and when to do
everybody.
It. And he knows everybody. So
Ralph knows everybody.
So
it's amazing.
Again, they always say it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's both.
Yeah.
And luckily he's got it both because if he needs information, and information is the key to getting anything done. All of these grants is because he knows who. People will tell him, hey, there's this grant available. If he didn't know him, he would never know. So
the problem is with village managers or village attorneys or town managers, town attorneys, is if a lot of the elected officials, seem that these guys need to kowtow to every single elected official what they want and what they don't want. Right. And that's not really their job. Their job is to do what's best for the residents in the short term and the long term. And a lot of politicians don't like that. So they force these people, and you see it you've seen it in Pomona Bay, but you've also seen it in South Miami, and you've seen it every place else. You see it in Miami Beach. They force them out, even though they're really, really good at what they do, because they're not
personality conflicts.
It's crazy. It's not, they're not so dedicated to an individual council member or mayor or whatever, because they really, the good ones want to do what's best for the residents.
Here's what I think is real key. You look back at Cutler Bay's history. A couple of years ago, the state legislature ranked all the cities in Florida, and there's roughly 90 cities our size in Florida. And out of all the cities in Florida, Cutler Bay was ranked the most efficient city out of all the 90 cities our size or bigger, and for being financially responsible. We are ranked number one for the most efficient staff as well. So,
and that's probably because you don't have a lot of turnover.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of turnover, and we actually do it. We contract most of the stuff out. Right now we have 32 staff of 32. That's it. And because we contract our landscaping, park maintenance out, almost all these things we can contract out. We do. We're going to go up to 35 employees this year because we had a building inspector and another code enforcement and somebody else for the parks. But we have a very efficient staff, very efficient model. And again, being ranked number one as far as government efficiency.
That's great.
So where do we go from there? We try to do it again.
You should actually put a banner. We're number one.
Yeah.
You can't put Avis, we're number two, we try harder or something, but we're number one.
Yeah.
And you still try harder.
Yeah. We're going to continue trying. Yeah. And again, that's kudos to not only this council, but Ralph Casals, our town manager, and Robert and the rest of the staff knowing exactly what they're doing. We have a very tight budget every year, and we make sure we keep it that way.
So somebody asked if Ralph lives in Cutler Bay.
He does not.
He does not work.
He lives out in the Redlands.
Okay. Good for him.
Yeah.
If I had a chance to live in the Redlands, I would too.
Yeah. I don't know. And I don't know if you want him, listen, if you work there, I don't know if you want him to live there as well all the time. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've had a lot of, Palmetto Bay had a lot of village managers that lived in Palmetto Bay. Right now, our village manager lives in the Keys,
right?
Which is good for him because he's got a really nice boat, and he's retired military, and he should be able to, Nick should be able to get on his boat and enjoy himself, right, when he's not working. Yeah, I don't necessarily have a problem.
I've met Nick a couple of times, and he seems like a very capable and sharp individual.
He's very sharp.
Yeah,
but he's let's see. What's it? Can we annex, Kevin? Can we annex the other side of US 1, which includes Walgreens and the Chevron station?
That's Palmetto. Oh, no, I guess no. That's a county right now. Yeah, that's off. Yeah. 184th is north is really Palmetto Bay's area. So I don't know if that would be in the cards. First of all, I don't think the county would let us do that.
Yeah. It takes a lot. I mean, have you ever, if you have a chance, it's really interesting. If you go to Dade County's code book, or actually it might be even individual municipalities' code books, to annex is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And takes a lot of time.
Yeah. We were the last city that really jumped away from the county. So I don't know if I've seen any annexation going on. And it's kind of funny. I've get that question all the time. Hey, can you annex a area to the south? Everybody wants to be a part of the Cutler Bay.
If you want to know the truth, there was a large contingency of people from District 3 in Palmetto Bay that wanted you guys to annex their community because of the bridge.
Yeah.
Right. So they have this huge bridge issue, and Palmetto Bay is not doing anything about the bridge. They're getting stuck sitting in their car for an hour, leaving their driveway. And they're like, okay, somebody else annex us so we can get that bridge.
I've heard those comments. So there's a lot of wild ideas out there.
Yeah,
so.
and then in District 1, which by the way, I live in 2. I don't live in 3 or 1. District 1 wanted to go to Pinecrest. So the only thing that would have been left
is 2.
Palmetto Bay would be District 2. And I'm like, oh, that's just great. That's just the way it is, man. If people don't like the way, the village or the towns run, they'll ask for look for all kinds of ways to get the hell out.
They will, and I'll take that as a compliment. I do think we're doing a great job in Cutler Bay, but as you know, any municipality, government's not always easy.
No, government's difficult. I mean, everybody has a different opinion, which is great, but it's also you have to follow a lot of laws and rules when you're running a municipality.
Yes,
you just can't sit there and make decisions, because somebody.
No, and the hardest part of our job is balancing the right of property owners with the wants of the public.
Well, that would be the number one to me, hardest job.
That is the hardest job because you can't tell somebody that they can't do something on their private property unless you buy it like we did.
Yeah.
So
and I'm all for governments buying a property. They do it every place else. They do it, if you've ever been to Boulder, Boulder is like they have all kinds of green space.
Yeah.
And mostly it's because Boulder sat there and said, look, we don't want all this crap going up because it's going to make it a huge city, and Boulder doesn't want to be a big city. And so they started putting parks and greenland,
That's a good way to do it. And that's, like I said, we are now the town is the largest landowner on Old Cutler Road in the town right now.
I do that, and I would advise that of any municipality right now with all the development going on.
If Kendall had to do over again, which way do you think they would go?
Oh yeah.
Please.
So, God knows. Kendall's just insane.
It's insane. So
but the problem with South Florida, and Dade County is they've never really thought through, how to put enough roads. They always roads shouldn't follow development. Development should follow roads, right? And access. And it's always been asked backwards. literally in South Florida.
Yeah. And you know what? Here's one of those reasons is again, so any developer that wants to change something, they bring their own traffic study. And whenever you pay for a traffic study, surprisingly, guess what? You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
So I changed the requirements in Cutler Bay last year. I put forward an ordinance that said when somebody comes in front of the council and wants to do any development, they need to pay us to do the traffic study. So we'll hire a firm.
That's what, yeah.
And now that way the firm's going to give us what is real, not what they want.
No, that's what is done in Palmetto Bay. I don't know what's done in Pinecrest. Well, I'm going to get you and Joe on, and you guys. I'm going to sit there and ask you guys questions, literally, and you guys can answer it what you guys do in your individual. I think that would be a blast, actually. And then we can all get a drink afterwards.
Yeah, me and Joe talk all the time. We get together once a month with the coalition, but we talk all the time. It's if I haven't dealt with a problem, he has, and vice versa. So
Joe is really, and Joe's so educated on development and
without a doubt,
all that stuff. That
his knowledge far surpasses mine. That's for sure,
and mine. So let's talk about Bridge. What do you hear about the bridge, 87th Avenue Bridge? Because you guys were pushing it. Mm-hmm. Some residents of Palmetto Bay were pushing it. Some residents weren't pushing it. Do you have anything?
Well, as far as I know, it's been approved. It's going out for bid, or it is out for bid very soon. It's moving along. Again, I think that's something that has been very, very necessary. It was designed to be there many, many years ago. You need to complete the grid, and this is one of the first steps for completing the grid.
Well, I was against the bridge until I found out if you put the bridge in there, it cuts off a certain amount of time from life safety.
Right, and
that to me is just that. Right. That to me,
when a firefighter said, "You know what? If we're trying to get to a 3-year-old that's fell in the pool." Yeah. That minute or two is going to be critical.
Oh no, absolutely.
And it's not that it happens all the time, but there's heart attacks and everything else. Yeah. I'm a big proponent of connectivity.
Yeah.
If the grids are completed, just kind of spreads the traffic out. There's no reason why the people of 82nd Avenue have to take all on them just because they were.
I'll go one step further. I don't know why they're not building the 77th Avenue bridges. Both of those should be built.
Yeah. Again, I didn't push the bridge, but I believe this can be a positive effect for us. But these are county roads. The county's traffic engineers need to decide what's to be done and do it and keep the politics out of it. And that's the way it should be done.
Nothing keeps politics out of it.
I guess nothing keeps politics out of it. But so I'm not, I'm not a real big proponent of speed bumps either, believe it or not.
Speed bumps.
So
I like circles.
Yeah, traffic circles are great.
And what's funny is there are a lot of people that hate traffic circles. I haven't liked traffic circles.
They make it flow. We're redesigning Franjo Road right now. It's almost done. The county was just finishing up the design of the last traffic circle, where Franjo and Gulfstream meet. But there will be traffic circles there to help traffic flow a little bit better, along with bike lanes. Franjo Road's going to be much improved. I really hope I get reelected, only so I can see a lot of these things that we've been working on for the last 4 years come to fruition.
Like I said, by the way, he's up for reelection. He needs money in his campaign. Okay, he's not even collecting any money yet. I told him, I said, "Have you collected any money?" He goes, "No, not yet. I'll get around to it eventually." Yeah. I don't know how you run. How much does it cost to run for mayor in Cutler Bay? Just out of curiosity. I know what it costs in Palmetto Bay.
Anywhere between 10 to 30 grand.
Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
What do you think it costs in Palmetto Bay?
40.
Keep going higher.
50?
Higher.
No way. Wow.
I mean, some of the elections. I mean, I would assume that in Palmetto Bay, it's probably between $70,000 and $100,000.
Wow.
Literally to run, because of how contentious it is.
Well, they got to live in Cutler Bay then, because
I know it's crazy, right?
But
how about a council seat? How much is a council seat?
Oh, it's not that bad with the council seats. It's $5,000 to $10,000.
Okay, $30,000 to $40,000.
So, in my last election, I only took money from residents and family members and friends. And somebody says, "Well, man, why don't you take money from the businesses that can afford it rather than the residents that can't?" I'm like, "Good point." So we'll see what I do here, but you have
a website yet?
I do not have my website up and running yet. I'm waiting until after the primaries are over so we don't confuse people.
Okay, the primaries are over in 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks,
a week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just sent my ballot in for Danielle Higgins.
Yeah, so did I. I think she's doing a great job.
I think she's doing a great job too.
Yeah.
And she promised me that when she won, she'd come on my show to talk about all the things she's going to do in the future.
Oh, nice.
And no, she's done a great job. She's very professional.
She's professional. She's intelligent.
Yeah.
She knows how to get things done. She's very open to communication. She recently recognized our town for an environmental award in front of the Board of County Commissioners. So appreciate being recognized when we're doing the right thing. And that's because Cutler Bay, instead of letting the 8.5 acres be developed, we purchased that land because it's environmentally sensitive. And we're still working to see if we can get the county to help us out with the cost of that. And I think we'll have success eventually. But if we didn't pull the trigger on it, it would be houses there right now, and you can't.
No, I think that. So what do you think the percentage of people are that appreciate the fact that you guys bought that land? Out of residents.
All depends.
Did you catch anything from any residents about buying the land?
No, very little. Yeah. Very little. Most people recognize that. Again, there's a very good chance that we're going to get some money back from the EEL program,
even if you don't get money back.
Right.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of people would have seen your forethought in. Okay, we don't need 440.
Yeah, 494. Yeah, 494 units. Most people are on board with that. Again. If the tax burden in Cutler Bay, we're still among the lowest municipalities as far as tax, and that's when we're comparing us to Doral, Pinecrest, Palmetto Bay, much more affluent areas. So we're
don't kid yourself. Your house is now.
Oh yeah, I know.
Your house is now.
Trust me.
I mean, I got to tell you, I bought a townhouse. I'm not going to tell you where in Cutler Bay because I own four of them, and I bought it for. Say $110,000.
Mm-hmm.
I just got an appraisal on it. It's like $385,000.
Wow.
I mean, it's insane.
It's insane.
It's insane.
It's almost sad because young people moving in trying to afford a home now is crazy.
Oh, it's. I think it's peaked. It will start coming down.
Okay.
But I mean, you still have some very wealthy people, especially around the lake there.
We have $1 million homes in Cutler Bay, and we have homes that are still in the 300,000s. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we got a wide spectrum there. We don't have any $3 million homes. I know that, but I don't know if we're more affluent. We're the same people we were last year. We just have higher home values.
Yep.
So we still have the same jobs primarily, and same income. So not a whole lot has changed, other than you can take a bigger loan on your house now.
Yeah, that's it. You can use it. Use it. But I mean, it's a home. Believe it or not, or you probably know this. A home is really somebody's life savings.
Right.
I mean, that's what they use for their retirement money, right?
Right.
That's what they count on. So it's good when real estate appreciates.
It is. And I'm not sure right now. There's all the corporations are buying the houses instead of people, which is a little scary. I want to see how that's going to go.
So, wait, I missed that one.
Corporations, large corp buying homes and
to rent them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I knew they were doing that when there was a downturn, but why would they buy it at the height of the market?
I think because they keep driving the market up. You go into a neighborhood, buy a house for overpriced. It's for $300, and you pay $350 for it, and then you buy 3 more houses. All of a sudden, all those property those property values go up by $50,000 each. So you're creating money.
I don't know if that's the smartest move, being real estate, but that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know if that either.
I'd have to talk to a real estate, residential real estate.
But again, that's not my area. I just my area is just making sure that the heart of the community stays a community where people want to live in and stays a family-friendly community.
So Dade County's going to reduce their real estate taxes. City of Miami is going to reduce their real estate taxes. You're planning on not reducing, keeping it the same.
We had our first budget hearing, and so we're, our budget, about 35% of our budget comes from the ad valorem. Mm-hmm. If we kept our tax rate the same as it is now, and we're budgeting 3 more employees, and employees are probably the most expensive part of any budget. Police force is the most.
Police.
There's two things.
Police force is 49 to 51% of any budget. I don't care where you go.
Right. It's 59% of ours.
59?
I think it's 59.
Wow.
Roughly.
Wait, let's call.
Right now they're.
Yeah. Let's call
Ralph.
Ralph and find out if that's true.
And so that's the police are raising our cost.
The fees,
Yeah. So you want to try to balance a budget. We have to try to look at if with the police costs go up as they're saying they're going to, and if we have these 3 employees, if we keep our tax rate the exact same right now, to balance the budget, we'd have about a $40,000 surplus, which is very, very tight.
Yeah, that's
And for years, Cutler
that's
Bay,
a zero budget,
yeah,
zero
balanced
balanced
budget.
budget. Thank you.
So, but prior years, Cutler Bay was actually in the going into the reserves to balance the budget, and that's no way. That's like going in your savings account to pay the bills. Eventually, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So, we wanted to make sure that we had a balanced budget first of all, and we're looking right now. What can we cut out of the budget? Police is our biggest.
You can't cut police.
You can't cut police. We got 53
Can't
sworn
cut
offers.
parks.
You can't cut parks. The quality of life things. There's very very little to cut from our budget. I could give anybody this budget and say, okay, look at the things that you want to cut. You want to cut some park employees. Do you want to cut roadway cleanup?
And you don't have
landscaping.
PR, right?
We don't have
a big item of Palmetto's Bay budget is PR for the village.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I mean, you do your. I mean, you don't.
Yeah, we do our own.
You don't necessarily have, but you don't spend a lot of money up here.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
I mean, again, if you looked at our budget, and I encourage people to come to our budget hearings and talk about what areas you want cut. Everybody says, well, I want lower taxes. Well, okay, great. We want to balance the budget. So what do you want to go away that you currently have? Do we
want more potholes in your street?
Do we mow less?
Yeah.
Do we clean the streets less? Do we clean the storm drains less?
Yeah.
Do we get rid of police officers? Do we cut our park staff? What do you want to cut? And for years we've already been very, very tight. Again, the Florida legislature ranked us number one.
Yeah.
For a reason, because we're tight. We're super tight. So when you talk about things to cut,
has anybody ever come up with anything to cut?
Not anything significant. Somebody will cut let's cut $1,000 at a travel budget. Great. The overall effect is
zero. Yeah, correct.
So again, and so the county said they're going to cut theirs by 1%. Yeah. People forget one thing though.
It's also election time
for homesteaded properties. for homesteaded properties.
Yeah.
So even if your property value goes up 12%, your tax bill only goes up 3%.
Yeah, because you're capped.
So your home values may have gone up 12%, but your tax bill is only going to go up 3%. And at the same time, the things that the town has to deal with is our cost. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there's some inflation lately.
Is there?
Yeah. And
I have never heard that.
Our staff all of our staff is tied to the cost of living.
Yeah.
So as the cost of living goes up, then we have to our costs go up.
Correct.
So it's not like we're not getting a windfall by the increase in property value.
Yeah.
There may be some room to do things, and that's what we're looking at. But we need to get some influence, I guess, input from our residents. And again, I want this to be completely transparent out there.
Well, don't you have two budget meetings, don't you?
Yeah, we have two more budget meetings. And then of course the actual hearings, budget hearings. But during election year, everybody talks about, I cut taxes.
Yeah, correct.
And so it's really easy to say. How about I'd like to say, hey, I balanced the budget.
Yeah, there you go.
I balanced the budget. I'm providing the services that our town wants, and especially when you look at the a 1% tax increase for the average homeowner in Cutler Bay would probably be about maybe $6-7 a year difference. It's not
hamburger.
It's not a significant amount of money.
But is it really 7%? I mean,
$7. It's the average taxable home in Cutler Bay is, I think, somewhere around $138,000.
Yeah, which is a lot lower than the market value.
Right, which is a lot lower than market value. So, if it's homesteaded in, then if it goes up a percentage point, 3%, whenever you're at 2.833. Mm-hmm. So if you make it, 2.73, the difference is
nominal
for each individual. It's nominal, but now there's some people I recognize that it's more impactful, especially some of the people who are buying homes recently. It's more impactful, but for people who are homesteaded in, it's not as significant.
By the way, there's no you got to keep taxes the same because there's no cap on the property that I own in Cutler Bay, right? So, I think actually no, I think it's 15% of it.
Well, I appreciate that you're investing in our town.
I am investing in your town because I like you.
And our residents are very happy that you're investing in our town, so we can continue to provide them the services to make their lives better.
I'm okay with that. I don't care. Okay, so your friend Kathy says hi. I guess that's what all the
thumbs up.
I haven't seen her. She's been. You know what's so funny about her? She's been on vacation for, I think, out of town for like 6 months now.
Oh, nice.
I mean, she's got like a lifelong. You got to text me something because every time I look at your Facebook page, you're on vacation somewhere lovely. Yeah, I guess you don't work.
Kathy is a great person.
Yeah.
Super sweet. That's for sure.
So you going to be singing anywhere?
Let's see. I actually sang with Cutler Stew down on the Keys a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did one song. I love when they let me do that. Again, I'm a wannabe. I'm not a good singer, but I'm a great performer.
No, I think I actually thought you were. I thought you were really good.
Oh, really? Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
You know, this coming from somebody who's in a band, it's probably like probably need a hearing aid anyway. So what else you want to cover?
Well, let's see.
Anything you want to talk about? It's all you.
It's all me right now.
We got 5 minutes.
There we go.
Sadine.
Sadine spoke.
Yeah.
By the way, Sadine's back. Sadine was supposed to be gone for 3 months. It's a funny story. He's supposed to be back but he graduated from University of Miami.
Yeah.
What you graduate with again?
Music and computer science.
Music and computer science.
My son graduated from the University of Miami with a degree in music as well.
Really?
Yeah, he plays
That's
cello.
awesome. Sorry?
Yeah, he plays cello.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
All the string instruments are absolutely
So
awesome.
now he's back there getting his doctorate in chemistry.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So-
Congrats.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, yeah,
Now we
so-
can make some money
Yeah,
because you ain't gonna make any money with a degree in music.
No,
Don't take that the wrong way.
That's why I kept
Sorry,
going to
Raina.
school, so-
I keep telling Raina all the time, my music teacher. I keep telling her, besides getting a doctorate, you ain't gonna make any money with a music.
Is it all right to mention I am running for mayor?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again,
I want you to mention it as much as you want because I want to see you win.
all right. Well,
I think you will win.
You know, I think we've been doing some really great things in the town of Cutler Bay. We're growing like every town is, and we can't stop that. But we're growing as much as we can in a smart way. We're growing in a way that's going to try to preserve the community feel of it. This is my hometown. I grew up there, and I want to make sure it stays that way. My son, believe it or not, young, 27, 26, just bought a house in Cutler Bay. I don't know how they're going to afford it, but they bought it in January.
You're not going to help them out?
So nope. So my granddaughter lives in Cutler Bay now. So I want to make sure that town stays as wonderful a place to grow up as it was when I was there. And so I'm going to work hard to do that. So I am running for reelection in November. And I'm going to start needing to get some volunteers to help me get the word out. I need some people to start to help me raise campaign funds because it's, as you mentioned, it's not free. And just make sure that I can get the message to the people out there that don't know who I am and what I'm about. So that's my goal, to get out there, make sure.
So you got to come back on a show. You got to come back with a website. You got to come back with a GoFundMe page.
Yeah, actually, we just got a question.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
do we?
a GoFundMe page.
It's not a GoFundMe. I do have a. Gosh, you think I'd have that at hand
No,
right
you
now?
think you would.
So
That just shows you how
But-
confident you are that you're
well,
going to win.
if the web page is probably set up now. Will be. I'll tell you what, Dave. I'll send that out to you, because I know your folks were
you know
coming
what?
back.
I'll talk about it next week when you're not here.
I would appreciate
I
that.
have no problem with that.
Okay.
And I do want to get you back with Joe, and you guys can banter back and forth about your individual, municipalities. I think, and I'll be quiet, which will probably be the only time I'm quiet in my life, except for to ask questions.
That'd be good to see. I mean, interesting to see. Sorry.
Yeah, no, good to see too. Don't kid yourself.
So-
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
People are like, okay, anyway. So I think that's. I think we've. Unless you have something else, you got anything else? And you
No,
can say goodbye to your lovely.
All
fiancée
right. Well,
again.
I'm sure she's not watching.
Oh, she better be.
But
Yeah.
hopefully, if she is, everybody tell her that I talk good about her and love her to death. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to come on this show. But every video I end up with in Cutler Bay, always the same thing each and every time. It's God bless Cutler Bay and God bless America.
There you go. That's perfect.
Mhm.
I really appreciate that. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I appreciate it. If you can send us out to as many people as humanly possible, if you want to do that, you'll be helping Tim out because everybody should know what a fine mayor he is of Cutler Bay and that he needs to get reelected. He's done a great job. 8 years, right? And you won another 4, so that'd be 12 years. You're more dedicated than I think I could ever be. That's good. I think. Oh, by the way, did you ever jump off Snowden's when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Oh, who hasn't?
Okay, because I just want to make sure because if you hadn't, I would never invite you on. If you
Okay.
hadn't, I'd never invite you on the show again.
Definitely.
I wanna make
I
sure.
rode my bike there like
Yeah.
everybody else and
Yeah.
did that during the summer many times.
It was
So,
great, wasn't it, when you were a kid?
Yep, without a doubt.
Yeah, they're supposed to do something with that. The bridge there is supposed to rebuild it or something. I don't know if they've ever done anything with it, but just to let you know. Okay, anyway, so thanks everybody. Be safe, be healthy, and we will see you next week when we talk about all things Palmetto Bay. Should be a good show. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.